Okay, it's not a good idea to blindly put your faith and trust into people you don't know, on a personal level, that is. You're setting yourself up to get hurt. A lot of times, people do when they find out that the person they thought so highly of isn't who that person really is. Whether it's someone you meet at work, or the internet, or people you've watched but have never actually had contact with. Learn to keep people at arm's length. Okay, make them earn your trust. Don't give it away just because they're charming or it appears that they're doing something good. In some cases, they're not doing it for the right reasons. This goes for certain people with lots of credentials and have been on various different media outlets. It may appear that they're spreading the truth. In most cases, they are. But they also leave important information out. And that's intentional because they're bought and paid for. Right? I'm not saying you shouldn't take anything from them. Just be careful what you do take from them. And if you insist on taking their advice, it would be best to learn all the pros and cons before you go through with it. We live in a world where you can't trust people. Right? There's controlled opposition everywhere, and there's also people who are only out for themselves. You watch or listen to somebody on YouTube or whatever, and it looks like they're doing something good. Unless you know that person on a personal level, you shouldn't assume that they're legit. The same can be said for the opposite, but it still comes down to the same thing. One way to know if someone is legit is if they're willing to interact with you personally. Because paid shills tend to not care about the people who follow them. Though I'm sure some will look like they do when the camera is rolling, or if the mic is on. They're just looking for a paycheck, really, under the guise of giving a damn. But on the other hand, people who are for real would want to have private dialogues with you, would want to help you individually, and their personalities and actions would match what they show on their YouTube videos and such. Right. Another thing to watch out for is if they say they're only getting a certain amount of income, but they're doing things or have things that's beyond what their budget should be, and they're still living relatively comfortable after a certain amount of time, that's a red flag. But yeah, keep people at arm's length, at least until you know that person a lot better than you do now. Okay, sit back and analyze. It may not be an ideal way of going about things, but we don't live in an ideal world.